Good afternoon, everybody. It's Valerie. I have come to the end of a big recording day today, having spent some time recording some material. Recording some material for teachers and then recording some material for medical students. And I'd like to just come on here and say two things, one about teachers, one about our medical professionals, and then finally finish out with, I guess, a call to action. So we need to be aware that for our teachers, Monday is the day when apparently all the kids return back to school. And I want us to remember that while you and I may be sending 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe you have 6 children back, our teachers are going to be opening their doors to hundreds and thousands of children. And we need to remember that what they're experiencing is not really a lot of choice. And they are being led by their commitment and in their identity of being educators. They're led by their love for our children, and they're led by their fundamental belief that children have rights and they want to be able to provide that. But there's not a lot of choice that has happened from what I've been catching up on news in terms of the way that it's been communicated and the way that it's been implemented will have its challenges. For teachers, they've had to jump over all kinds of incredible hoops to make learning happen. I believe they've been bombarded by mixed messages. Sometimes they've been criticized, sometimes they've been asked to do more. And they're also human beings who come with their own systems. They are choosing to remain as teachers and teach our children while they are keeping a sense that they're going to be vulnerable. They're going to be exposed. They're going to be exposing themselves and their families to harm's way as the hundreds and thousands flock back to school. So number one, teachers, check in on yourselves, will you? Will you check in on one another? Having some internet connections coming in and out, but will you check in with one another? Will you find the spaces that you need to actually have a quiet space if you've got to take yourself out somewhere and go for a walk or find a quiet space in the staff room? And perhaps schools can be thinking ahead of that too. Where can be this spaces of refuge for our teachers as the children come back? And I would like to think that as a community, we will remember that much like first responders, our teachers are having that role right now. They are going to be welcoming back children who have had a variety of experiences during COVID-19. Not all good, not all great. Some kids have been exposed to family violence. Some kids have been exposed to illness. Some kids are having more anxiety. Those on the spectrum will have major adjustment issues. And let's remember our teachers. Secondly, our doctors, not just our doctors, but our nurses, our healthcare educators, our frontliners. You and I, we may have done the right thing to stay home and not spread the germs around and flatten the curve. For our healthcare professionals, they have turned up to work every day. They are exhausted. They are tired. And they have squelched, pushed down whatever fear they might have, whatever, anxiety or whatever distress that they've been feeling. And they have been on the front line of life and death, really, as they have been watching the COVID tsunami and the waves coming in and out. And again, if you have a chance as the public to really reach out, not just to our doctors, but our practice nurses, the people who have been doing pathology and testing, they don't want to hear that they're heroes. They just want to know that we still welcome them and understand and think of them, and we pass the message that they're only human beings. And that brings me to the third point. As I've been talking to, presenting and recording for teachers, recording for medical practitioners, I've been thinking a lot about the space of advocacy. I've been having to say in some of my presentations that we actually really need a voice of advocacy in this space to say that unless you and I have got an upgrade in our bodies, and I don't think you have, well, maybe aesthetically, but other than that, our heart, our kidneys, our liver, the whole body does not get upgraded. We cannot keep up. We cannot keep up. And this consumeristic, entitled mentality has got to be called out when we look at other human beings who are serving us, who are teaching our children essentially, who are taking care of, illness and disease for us on behalf of us, and are giving of themselves to us. There has to be a way that we can say to one another, this consumeristic, entitled attitudes is not right. Not only is it not helpful, but it is just not right. We need them. We need these people. I need them. I need you. We can't, as I was talking, one of the medical students said, is it too late? Is it too late for me to opt out? And I'm thinking, don't opt out. Do not opt out. We need you. We need people. It takes all of us to make the world go around. That sounds a bit cliche, but if we really unpack that, we do need that. And so I'm actually thinking that a voice of advocacy, I'm hoping, will come out of COVID-19, that we will think of the teachers who do not have protective gear and who have not been given a lot of choice. And I'm kind of been seeing some messages saying, oh, look, every professions have got, their stresses. Well, yes and no. There are stresses. Doctors and healthcare professionals are making decisions about life and death. Not theirs, ours. And it's a really hard space for them. And our teachers are having to make decisions on behalf of not just themselves, but the entire social network that they come from in terms of what they get exposed to. So it is not on to trivialize and dismiss that. It is really for a better humanity and a better maturity for us to actually say, how can we support you? How can we encourage you? How can we hold up your arms when they get tired? What do you need? What do you need? Good night.